So you missed parts 1 to 3 of the series? The in-laws are coming, don't worry, I've got you. Up on the screen are 2 videos showing for a quick recap of a story filled with secrets, family tension, and a mother-in-law's hidden agenda for her daughter-in-law Tina and her influence on her daughter's life. But today, in part 4, we dive into how one piece of advice from a mother led to heartbreak and chaos in her own daughter Kate's marriage. Let's be discerning when it comes to advice, even from the ones we trust most. Get ready, because this final part will have you rethinking of the power of words in family relationships and how her mother's words led Kate to a place she never thought she'd be and what happened next. After Kate was arrested that evening back at the village and her parents had to return to the village after hearing the news of the catastrophe she had caused and being summoned by the chief and elders the next day, Kate was finally discharged from the police custody after the case was settled and was brought home to be sorted out. But Daniel, her husband, had moved to the city to live with his mother and to be taken care of after he had severe injuries from Kate's stabs. But has it always been like this with Kate? Definitely not. This was Kate.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who makes breakfast as good as you.
Well, maybe you're just easy to please.
Kate and Daniel had a marriage many dreamed of, built on love, mutual respect, and understanding. Together, they created a peaceful home in the city. One fine afternoon, Ma Becky, Kate's mother, came from the village to visit them at the city.
So, this is the big city life my daughter is living. Not bad.
Mama, how was your trip?
Long, my dear, but you know me. I'll manage. You've done well for yourself, but be careful. City life can change people, especially men. Kate, you need to be careful. Men, especially when they feel comfortable, start to think they can control everything. Don't let Daniel take over too much. You have to show him who's boss.
Mama, Daniel and I make decisions together. He's not like that.
You think you know men, but you don't? I was once in your shoes. You need to be the head, not the tail, in this marriage. Otherwise, one day you'll find yourself sidelined.
And so, Ma Becky's words began to take hold. A mother's advice, meant to protect, unknowingly started to sow seeds of doubt.
I think the new property could be a good investment for our future.
So, you're just going to make that decision without me? What happened to talking things through?
Kate, we're talking about it now. I'm not making any decisions without you.
That's not what it feels like. I'm tired of you trying to control everything.
I don't know what's happening to us. This isn't like you.
I disagree with that investment. It's not worth it. I have a better investment plan. All that money must go into the shop I asked you to set up for me to start my business. It's always your selfish ways.
Kate, I never knew you had this kind of mindset. I always think about both of us and our future. All right, to bring peace, I will invest in your business. Hope you are okay.
Mama and I will sort it out. You can go and serve your food in the kitchen. I am very tired.
Day by day, the love that once held them together was slowly being torn apart by the bitterness growing in Kate's heart. Without her even realizing, she was becoming a bitter woman. The seed her mother sown in her was growing. Thinking she was rather being assertive. As explained to her by Ma Becky.
The rent for the shop is due and my customers have not paid me yet. We have to find another source of income for the management of the home too. Everything is finished in the house. The last time Mama came around, I gave her most of the items because they had nothing at home in the village. And besides, you also gave your mother money without telling me. I overheard you on the phone yesterday.
Kate, so you mean the money for the shop investment is all gone? Just in 3 months. And besides, my mother was sick and had to foot her bills. You have not even called to check on her after I informed you. And you have practically given everything in this house to your mom? What is happening? I don't like the look of things happening with us. That investment in your shop was your idea and now it's all gone.
A heated argument started between the two of them where Kate raised her hand against Daniel and Daniel held her hand back. Months later, after numerous arguments, financial strain, and Kate's deteriorating behavior, things started looking really bad for the of them. Daniel suggests they move to the village for a fresh start. because they could no longer even afford to buy 3 meals square a day, and the landlady was done with them. Kate and Daniel are packing their bags in the now empty city house. They've lost their home and are relocating to the village.
Maybe a slower pace in the village will help us, Kate. We can rebuild our lives away from the pressure of the city.
Whatever. I don't care where we go.
Life in the village is nothing like Kate and Daniel had imagined. The house they live in is old and dilapidated, and their relationship continues to worsen, fighting every day at the least thing. And because Daniel wanted to be a gentleman, he never touched her, with the intention that she will change and rekindle the past beautiful life again. But life in the village made Kate even more bitter and out of control.
This isn't the life I signed up for, Daniel. Look at us, look at this place, how did we end up here?
Kate, we're trying to make it work. We've both been through a lot, but we need to stop fighting each other.
Stop fighting, you brought us here, and now I'm stuck in this miserable place. Stop fighting, you brought us here, and now I'm stuck in this miserable place.
The bitterness that had taken root in the city now fully bloomed in the village. Kate's anger consumed her, leaving no room for the love that once existed between them. Kate could not stand it anymore. One night, after another explosive argument, Kate throws a sharp knife at Daniel, giving him some cuts on his body and head. Then she accidentally sets the house on fire in her rage. The fire symbolizes the destruction of their relationship.
I didn't mean for this to happen.
Kate, help me. We need to put it out.
But Kate, overwhelmed by her emotions, collapses to the ground, sobbing. But the intensity of the argument and the fire had caught the attention of the villagers, who had come around to help, but it was too late. Some elder called the police, while some men attended to Daniel and helped him to the nearby clinic. The fire that consumed their home mirrored the emotional fire that had consumed their marriage. What once stood strong now lay in ruins. Ma Becky and Papa had traveled to the city to visit their son Mike and wife Tina, unexpectedly as usual. Unannounced. A flashback to the visit where Ma Becky had started her unusual advice about city life and how Tina should be careful, just like she told Kate, her own daughter. But as fate will have it, the visit by the in-laws turned out to be chaotic unexpectedly, with news of Kate burning their home and being arrested back in the village. And the in-laws had to leave. Guess fate saved Tina and Mike. After Ma Becky and Papa returned to the village that night and things got solved from the police station and Kate was released, Kate began to reflect after the fire on everything that happened. She finally realizes that her mother's advice had destroyed her marriage. Mama, your advice. I followed everything you said, and now look at my life. I've lost everything.
I thought I was protecting you, Kate. I didn't know I was pushing you away from your husband.
You turned me into someone I don't even recognize. I loved Daniel, and now I've lost him.
A mother's love is powerful, but when rooted in fear and control, it can destroy the very thing it seeks to protect. Sometimes, in trying to shield our children, we build walls that trap. One afternoon, as Kate was sitting alone under a tree, reflecting in tears, she got up and headed to her room and got some few things, and headed to the city. She went to her brother's house to ask him and Tina to help her fix her marriage with Daniel, to help her apologize to Daniel. They all ended up at Daniel's mother's home, where he was staying for some time after the incident in the village. Upon reaching there, Daniel was so much hurt he refused to talk to her. Kate apologized, but to no avail. Daniel stood up and left them at the hall, leaving only his mother, father, and the Kate's family, Daniel and Tina, who were shocked but understood Daniel's rage. So they left, with Kate in an uncontrollable tears. Back in the village, Kate was sitting under a tree with tears in her eyes when right there in front of her stood Daniel.
Kate, I don't know if we can fix this, but I'm willing to try if you are. Go and pack some few things and let go back to the city. My mother has agreed to let us live with her for some time as we pick ourselves up again. And I got a new job.
Will your mother ever forgive me for that has happened?
Yes, she will. You know what to do when we arrive at the city.
Daniel and Kate arrived in the city, and Daniel's mother received them with open arms, and they picked themselves up gradually. Kate became herself again, and their love grew even stronger until Ma Becky, her mother, arrived at their new home with a new shocking revelation she had for her daughter. Kate.
Hi, Mama. Welcome. We weren't expecting you. Hope everything is fine back at the village. Kate, it's Ma Becky.
Mama, what are you doing here? I only spoke to you 2 days ago. How is Papa? And what of this luggage? Hope you are not here to stay.
Kate, it's already late. Let Mama come in.
Daniel, I don't want any drama. By tomorrow Mama will have to go back to the village. No argument.
Later that evening, as Kate prepares dinner for the family, Ma Becky drew closer to her and whispered something into her ears. The words of the news shocked her down her spine.
What, Mama? Where did you hear that from? Daniel? I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I was equally shocked when I heard it from a trusted source. My daughter, this is very serious.
Dinner that evening was as quiet as a cemetery. Daniel could sense the tension, but couldn't place his hands on anything. After dinner, Kate and Daniel sat at the hall with Kate resting her head on Daniel whilst they chatted like nothing has happened. Ma Becky was quietly anticipating a fight but heard nothing. And it shocked her. The easiness in her spirit made her walk to the hall to talk to Kate. Kate excused Daniel and went to the kitchen with her mother.
Kate, have you asked Daniel about what I told you? What did he say, and what is the way forward?
Mama, I cherish my marriage. I won't let anything come between us. And for your information, Daniel had already told me about the baby he had with another woman when we separated. I forgave him because it was my fault I listened to you in the first place. Not anymore. I only pretended I didn't know when you told me because I knew you expect a fight. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm more discerning now and my marriage is more important. Mama, you must go back to the village in the morning. If anything, I will come and visit you and Papa.
Ma Becky was shocked and was covered with shame from her daughter's words and had no choice but to go and prepare to leave the next morning. Ma Becky realized that she was just being controlling and had to leave and allow her daughter to enjoy her marriage. She realized that this generation is different and does things differently to save their marriages, and the pattern of generational control from parents no longer existed. Later that night, Kate surprised Daniel by breaking the news of her pregnancy. Daniel could not contain his joy and promised her that everything will be fine, and that was how their love was healed and gained back to life. Though the road to healing is long, it begins with understanding, forgiveness, and the courage to let go of toxic influences. It can be fixed if the two are willing. Let's guard our heart and mouth in our marriage and relationships. Parents, especially mothers, play a crucial role in their children's marriages. Be mindful of the advice you give and the seeds you plant. It's important to support without controlling, to guide without imposing, and to allow your children the space to build their own relationships. Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe button, give a like and share to others to be entertained and be inspired. Love from Afromom Struggles and Strengths to you.